some international issues. Sky News contributor Kosha Garda, former Labor MP Michael Danby. Well, welcome to you both. Michael, we'll get into Rafah with you in a moment. I'm keen on your take on what's happening there, but you are a very proud Labor man. Tell us how you felt over the weekend with that move by Penny Wong to basically reward Hamas for its horrors on October 7.
Wolkenkuckucksheim, which is the German word for a cloud cuckoo land. Why now? Burke, Clare, Husick and the Socialist left are all pushing the government towards rewarding Hamas, which wants a unitary Muslim state from the river to the sea, or the Palestinian Authority that pays a third of its budget. An economist like Kosha would be interested in this, a third of its budget to pay for slay terrorists. And Australia used to have the sensible policy in the past. We don't decide these things from over here. We let the parties negotiate between themselves. We should have been with the United States and Papua New Guinea in voting against, or at least with Canada and the United Kingdom and Germany, and abstaining. I mean, I don't believe the ignorance that these people have. Penny Wong, President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton, all did peace plans with the Palestinians for a two-state solution, and each time the Palestinians ran away. You can't erase history. You're not those guys who have the magic pens and you erase our memory. These things all happened. And the reason there isn't support for a two-state solution in Israel or among sensible people around the world is because the Palestinians, supported by our government now, have run away from it each time. It's got to be negotiated between the parties. We're not going to impose Penny Wong's will from Australia.
Kosha, the PM, I watched Question Time today, and the PM wasn't too happy when he was asked a question by Andrew Hastie as to why he hadn't spoken to Xi Jinping regarding that incident with an Australian naval helicopter. Have a listen.
Why hasn't the Prime Minister called President Xi about these clear acts of intimidation?
Why doesn't the opposition back up Australia? This is about our national interest.
Order, members on my left.
This mob who never had a phone call, let alone a meeting, during their entire last term in office. I would have thought that was not a hard ask for you to say, yes, we agree, we are at one. We are at one in defending the Australian Defence Force, rather than trying to send confusing messages to the People's Republic of China.
Two things here struck me, Kosha. Andrew Hastie really got under his skin with that question. But secondly, pretty bloody rich to have a crack at a bloke that's been in our uniform for the SAS in Afghanistan and demand of him, what are you going to do about defending Australia? Why aren't you standing with the government on this sort of stuff? I mean, you can't ask that of a veteran when you're someone like Albanese who can't even pick up the phone to defend our naval pilot in this circumstance.
Very true. I think you put your finger on it there. For sure, Peter, that Hastie did get under his skin. I think that came across quite evidently with the animated response, and I think that probably colored where that commentary came from, and obviously didn't land given who he was speaking to on the other side. I think it was a very reasonable question. It's a good thing it was asked. More people, including in the media, by the way, should be asking harder-hitting questions of our leaders. It would appear to many that there just isn't really clarity, certainly with the PM, but in fairness to him, with many elected leaders over a wide span of time, there does not appear to be clarity in what the position, Australia's position really is and what the strategy should be with respect to China. Because if there is clarity on that, is it a contained and limited partnership? Are there red lines that we will not allow to be crossed? Is it a managed concession in certain aspects because of the reality of the situation and how much leverage each party has? What is it? And if there's clarity in those positions, then downstream from that, you would see clarity in the words that are spoken when you're standing up to the leaders, as well as, more importantly, the actions and, our policy stance as it relates to immigration or trade reciprocity or any number of things where we could be leveling the playing field and, exercising what we think our strategy is. And it seems a little bit all over the place, and that comes through in moments like these.
I think Labor's strategy right now in China is shut up and take the money. I think it's that simple, Kosha. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. Let's go to the US, Michael. Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen. Well, he's given evidence in the Hush Money trial, claiming that he was aware of the payments. Everything's required. Mr. Trump signed off. On top of that, I wanted the money back, Cohen told the court. Outside the court, Trump took aim, though, at the judge.
We have a corrupt judge, and we have a judge who's highly conflicted, and he's keeping me from campaigning. You know who appointed him? Democrat politicians.
I don't know if this is working against him or for him, because, every single day he's getting in the headlines, he's getting all of this vision, it's running on the newses. What do you think, Michael, for or against him? Is it working for Trump or not?
Well, let's not just listen to you or me, Peter, but Fareed Zakaria, who's a famous Liberal host of CNN, and Bill Maher, who's the very funny US comedian, middle-of-the-road centrist, also smaller Liberal, both are saying that this lawfare is backfiring. On the weekend, hardly reported by the mainstream media, 100,000 people gathered on the Jersey Shore for a Trump rally. Now, I don't support Trump's personality, but they should be discussing the issues. He shouldn't be in court. He should be out there being able to debate Biden. I cannot believe that Biden will be allowed to contest this election. His falling abilities, he nearly caused a revolution in Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands by accusing them of being cannibals, that he'll be allowed to contest. Gavin Newsom, where are you when you're needed? In August, the Chicago Convention takes place, and I think Trump is ahead in all the swing states. This is emerging as a catastrophe for the Democrats unless they replace Biden.
Coach, I'll finish with you because I'm picking up that point there. Joe Biden, crazy stuff, out cracking jokes about his own competency. Have a listen.
My name's Joe Biden. I work for Kamala Harris. I asked her to be my vice president because I knew I needed somebody smarter than me.
You don't joke about something like that, do you?
No, and sadly, just picking up what Michael said, everybody I think will just relegate it to another day and another gaffe, joke, comment by President Biden that doesn't land. It would land maybe if somebody is known to be a very, very strong leader and they made a cute joke in the right context. It doesn't land when one of the biggest things he's fighting is the fact that he comes across as a very weak leader, and then making a joke about your weakness doesn't quite do it. There's another really quick meta point that I would say as well, that it's also this whole thing about mocking masculinity in favor of strong women is something that I think reflects a trend in the culture. I'm all for female empowerment, but not at the expense of men. And I think he was doing that as well. That doesn't quite land with a lot of his constituents.